Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into some seriously cool wedding trends for 2025?
Oh, absolutely. I am so ready.
Awesome. So, we're taking inspiration from this podcast I came across recently, all about wedding planning. And you know what really stood out to me?
What's that?
Just how much weddings are becoming like super personal.
You're so right. Like, forget cookie cutter. It's all about reflecting the couple now.
Exactly. And one of the biggest things is like eco-conscious weddings.
Oh, yeah. Sustainability is huge, but it goes way beyond just like using recycled paper, you know?
For sure, it's had a whole mindset shift, thinking about the impact of every decision.
The podcast actually suggested some really cool venues, like, think botanical gardens.
Oh yeah, or like vineyards.
Right. Places with that natural beauty already there.
And when it comes to decor, they were all about biodegradable, reusable stuff. You know, things that don't just end up in a landfill.
Absolutely. Makes you think about the bigger picture.
Totally. And they had this great tip about using in-season flowers.
Oh, yeah.
Not only is it better for the environment, but
Local growers, too.
yes, plus in-season flowers are usually the prettiest anyway.
Totally agree. It's a win-win. And speaking of eco-friendly choices, they also mention digital invitations.
Oh, that's smart. So modern and you save a ton of paper.
Exactly. And it's efficient. Speaking of changing things up, they also talked about smaller weddings, like those micro weddings you hear about.
Oh, I love that idea.
It's like quality over quantity. Instead of a massive guest list, you can really splurge on the experience.
You know what I'm picturing? A destination wedding with just your closest friends and family.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Or like a private chef for an intimate dinner party vibe.
Yes. So much more personal.
It really allows you to create those special moments, and they even suggested using the money you save on a smaller guest list to, like, invest in awesome photography or live music.
That's such a good idea. Okay, so we've talked about eco-conscious and smaller weddings, but we can't forget about technology.
Right. It's such a big part of weddings these days.
And the podcast talked about how it's evolving. You know, it's not just about necessity anymore. It's about making the experience even cooler, like for everyone.
Oh, for sure. I love how they talked about 360-degree live streams.
Imagine your virtual guests feeling like they're right there with you.
That's so cool. And what about incorporating augmented reality?
Ooh, like guests could scan the invitation and see a 3D model of the venue.
Exactly. Or even a personalized message from the couple.
That's so creative. But they did emphasize the importance of having good streaming equipment and testing it beforehand. You don't want any glitches on the big day.
Totally agree, especially for those virtual guests. All right, moving on to something I think everyone loves, customization.
Ooh, yes. This is where things get really fun.
It's all about making the wedding super personal. The podcast had so many great examples, like writing your own vows.
I love that. So much more meaningful.
And bespoke decor, stuff that's totally unique to the couple.
Or personalized favors, little touches that your guests can take home.
Oh, and monogrammed everything.
Yes, monograms are always classy. But they also said to think outside the box, like maybe incorporate a shared hobby into the theme.
Oh, that's fun.
Or like a custom cocktail named after their favorite travel destination.
That is such a cute idea. All right, get ready for this one because we're talking color palettes and things are getting bold.
Ooh, tell me more.
They said that in 2025, it's all about those vibrant colors. Jewel tones, oranges, blues.
So no more pastels.
Pastels are out. It's all about making a statement with color.
I love that. It's so much more fun and energetic.
Totally. And you can really use color to create a mood. Like imagine a reception bathed in amber light.
Ooh, so romantic.
Or a ceremony backdrop with tons of greenery and pops of like fuchsia.
That sounds stunning. But how do you make sure it doesn't get overwhelming?
They had a great tip for that. Focus on one key color.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then use complementary accents for balance. Like if you're going with emerald green, you might add touches of gold or blush pink.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so last but not least, they talked about entertainment. And this is where things get really interesting.
Right, because we're not just talking about a DJ anymore. It's all about experiential entertainment.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What does that even mean?
Think interactive food stations, like a build-your-own taco bar.
Oh, fun.
Or a gourmet popcorn station with all sorts of crazy flavors.
Ooh, I love popcorn.
Or even a live sushi chef.
That would be so cool. They also mentioned live painters, right?
Yes. Imagine having a painting of your wedding as it's happening.
That's such a unique keepsake. But they did say something important about choosing the right entertainment.
Oh, what's that?
They said it needs to match the overall vibe of the wedding.
That makes sense. So for like a beachy wedding, you might have fire dancers.
Ooh, I love that. Or if it's more formal, maybe a string quartet.
Exactly. It's all about creating that perfect atmosphere.
Wow, we covered so much. From eco-conscious choices to bold colors to experiential entertainment, it's clear that weddings are becoming way more than just a ceremony and a reception.
Absolutely. They're becoming these amazing, personalized experiences.
So before we move on, I'm curious, What stood out to you the most from this first part of our deep dive?
That's a tough one.
I know, right? There's just so much to be excited about.
But if I had to pick one thing, I think for me, it's the focus on personalization. It's really cool to see couples ditching tradition and creating weddings that are like truly unique to them.
Yes, I'm totally with you on that. It's not about checking boxes anymore. It's about celebrating your love in a way that feels, authentic.
Exactly. And there are just so many ways to do that now, like personalized vow, decor, entertainment even.
And speaking of entertainment, that's one trend I'm super excited about. Ditching the DJ and going for those immersive, experiential things. So cool.
Right. It totally changes the vibe. It's like people want to be a part of the celebration, not just watch it happen.
For sure. And I bet it's more fun for the couple, too.
Oh, absolutely. To see everyone having a blast and making memories, that's what it's all about.
It's like you're creating a whole world for your wedding day.
Yes, a world that's all about you two.
Okay, I love that. It's like you're inviting your guests to step into your world for a day.
Exactly. And while we're talking about creating a memorable experience, those bold color palettes we discussed, color can really transform a space.
Oh, yeah. And those vibrant colors are so full of life,
Totally. It's like couples are saying, we're not afraid to be bold.
I love that energy. And, the podcast had a great tip about using bold colors. Remember, focus on one main color and then use accents for balance.
Oh, that's right. Like emerald green with pops of gold. So smart.
So chic. Okay, now let's shift gears for a sec and talk about those eco-conscious weddings.
Yes. It's amazing how many couples are making sustainability a priority.
It shows they care about more than just the party.
For sure. And I love that you don't have to sacrifice style to be eco-friendly.
Absolutely. It's totally possible to have both. And speaking of finding balance, remember those smaller, more intimate weddings?
Oh, yeah, those are so special.
It's not about having a huge guest list. It's about celebrating with your closest people.
And as the podcast mentioned, a smaller guest list frees up your budget for other things. You can splurge on those special touches.
Exactly. Like maybe a unique venue or amazing entertainment. And just imagine the intimacy of a smaller gathering.
Oh, so cozy and heartfelt. Everyone can really connect.
Exactly. And even if people can't physically be there, technology can help bridge that gap.
Oh, right. We talked about how technology can make weddings more inclusive.
Yeah, it's about making sure everyone feels like they're part of the celebration, even from afar.
And with technology always changing, the possibilities are just going to keep growing.
It's pretty exciting to think about, actually. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, what resonated with you the most?
Ooh, that's a great question. There's been so much to think about.
I know. It's hard to pick just one thing, honestly. It's hard to choose just one thing. What's so cool is how all these trends, they kind of connect,
Yeah, like they're all pointing towards making a wedding. Not just a wedding, but like a real experience, something people will remember.
Exactly. And it's not just following trends blindly. It's about couples using them as inspiration and then making it their own.
That's what makes it so unique. It's like you're not just copying what everyone else is doing.
Right. You're putting your own spin on it, letting your personalities shine through.
And I think that's so important for couples who might be feeling overwhelmed, Like there's so much pressure to have the perfect wedding.
Totally. But perfect is whatever you want it to be.
Exactly. This is about celebrating your love your way.
And you know what else I love? How the podcast encouraged couples to get creative with the entertainment.
Oh, yeah. Like think outside the box.
It doesn't have to be expensive or over the top.
Sometimes the simplest ideas are the most fun.
And again, it goes back to matching the vibe of the wedding, right?
Totally. If it reflects you as a couple, it's going to be a hit.
So true. Okay, before we wrap things up, I have one last question for you. What advice would you give to couples who are just starting to plan their wedding?
Good question. I think I'd tell them to focus on what really matters to them.
Okay, I like that.
It's easy to get caught up in all the details and trying to please everyone.
Yes, your day.
Exactly. So make choices that feel right for you. That's what will make it truly special. Not just for the wedding day, but for years to come.
That's such great advice. And I think it's the perfect way to end our deep dive. Your wedding day is a celebration of your love story. So have fun with the planning, don't be afraid to be yourselves, and make it a day you'll never forget. Thanks for joining us, everyone.